Well, historically, domestic workers have been excluded from accessing the Occupational Insurance Fund. But after a ruling by the North Gauteng High Court, this will be a thing of the past. Domestic workers performing household work will now be eligible to claim from the Compensation Fund. To tell us more about this landmark ruling, we're joined from our Pretoria studio by the co-founder and president of the United Domestic Workers of South Africa, Pinky Mashiane. Pinky, a very good morning to you and thanks for your time. Can you give us some idea as to what has led to this landmark decision? What was it that got this to court for this ruling to happen? Were we seeing lots of injuries? Were we seeing deaths of domestic workers at work?
Thank you for having me. Maria Mahlangu was a domestic worker in Ferry Glen in 2012 when she fell into a swimming pool. After hearing that, I tried to get help from different institutions. I went to UNISA Equality Court because I realized that domestic workers are not taken like workers. I went to the employer and they said, unfortunately, there's no compensation fund for domestic workers. That's when I decided that somebody has to do something. I started knocking in different doors, trying to find help until we got help this year. We took the minister to High Court and the High Court ruled in our favor, and we are grateful as domestic workers. And this is a victory.
So this ruling does not only apply to domestic workers, I understand. Does it apply to people who work as drivers maybe and gardeners as well, anybody who does that kind of work around somebody else's household?
Yes, it's applied to people who are looking after the nannies, people who are taking care of the aged, the drivers in private household. Those are all domestic workers, including the gardeners.
So what needs to happen here, Pinky? I mean, obviously this is something that has to be discussed. Employers have to discuss this with people who work for them. Does there need to be a particular payment that's being made? Say, for example, what we do with UIF. Does something like this does it need to be a contribution monthly for somebody to be able to claim for injury?
Yes, that's what we want the government to do in collaborating with the employers, that there must be domestic workers must be registered for COIDA the same way as it is with the UIF. Okay,
so domestic workers have to go to make the initial application. Is it a move they have to make from their side?
Yeah, it is the employers. It is the employers and who has to take... the government must sit with the employers and tell them how they are going to implement this on domestic workers. What we are saying, we are saying they can do it as they did it with the UIF in 2003. And this is long overdue because many domestic workers have died in the line of duty and there's no compensation for them because they are not covered by COIDA.
When does this actually come into effect?
We are waiting for the Minister of Labour to sign it. We are happy and we congratulate the new Minister of Labour, Thulas, and we hope that he will sign the COIDA amendment bill that was issued last year on the 18th of October by the then Minister of Labour, Mrs. Mildred Oliphant.
So, in a case like this, Pinky, like say for example Maria Mahlangu, who drowned, she wasn't just injured, she died while she was on duty. Would this be something that would apply to the workers' dependents? Will they be able to claim the benefits of that?
The case now is going to the Constitutional Court. That's where our lawyers are arguing with the minister's lawyers to have the Mahlangu family compensated. So the problem is, the argument is retrospectively. They want all the workers who died in the line of duty as domestic workers or who were disabled in the line of their duty to be compensated. That's what we also want. So the case now is going to the Constitutional Court, and we hope for the best.
Pinky, and I'm sure that, you know, you would expect that in some cases these claims will be disputed. There will be employers who say, but it wasn't anything that happened yet, my word against yours. When it comes to domestic workers or people who work on their property, they'll say you were careless. There might be those who will take the chance to avoid having to pay. What would be your advice to domestic workers as to what to do when you are injured on duty at your employer's house? Are there pictures you need to take? What do you keep as proof so that you can claim?
Yes, if you're injured at your employer's house, you have to go to the doctor, take the pictures of your injury, and let's put everything that is important so that when these things happen, we can have strong cases. because really it's as if domestic workers are not workers, and we are valuable workers, and they contribute a lot in the economy of this country. And domestic workers can put this country to a standstill if they were all unionized and fight in one voice.
Okay, thanks very much for that explanation. And that is the co-founder and president of the United Domestic Workers of South Africa, Pinky Mashiane. She's in Pretoria, just explaining about ACOIDA. It's a Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act. The victory in court, but still waiting for it to become official in terms of legislation. They will keep an eye on that one.